I think it's officially time for a fruit tree update. Today I'm going to focus really only on the citrus. So this kumquat, as you can see, is totally loaded. It's been in the ground just 1 year right now, assuming I'm remembering right. You know what? It might be actually almost coming up onto 2 years. Yeah, that's what it is. This is almost 2 years in the ground. And I think it'll be 2 years in the spring. Today's January 1st, 2022. So in another 3 months, it'll be 2 years. So this thing's just pumping. I barely do anything to this. I think part of it was, I got this one in and I just kept really good, reliable water on it. So not much to say. What I really need to do is get this fruit off of here, because that's a lot to ask for that one. I've been so tied up though with the construction. So a year ago, that's how I remember, we were doing framing, and then like several months before that we were doing the grading, and so a lot of these trees got away from me really bad, but I'm looking to get back on the wagon now. Then this lemon, these two I planted at the same time. They're just cranking, no problems. I probably need to trim this one back a little. Want to try to get it a better branch structure. You can see it's a little heavy over here and a little heavy over here. So I'm probably gonna pull some of that down a little and take some of this and get it proportional. But a little talk about that on those ones. These I put in definitely over 2 years ago. This is the Kefir lime. That was the Eureka lemon. This one, as you can see, I got to get down there and I got to pull those little suckers off and just keep everything, keep this part of the trunk clean just so it looks good. But this one's cranking. It's doing great. It's pumping fruit. There's fruit all over the ground. These you don't really eat. You can cook with them, or they actually have a really strong smell, so you could just put them in a bowl and bring them inside. But that hasn't been real high on my priority list. It needs some shaping. As you can see, it's getting a little tall over here. So if I bring it down, this one is either a blood orange or a pink navel, and I don't remember right offhand. It's definitely one of the two. Oh, it's a pink navel. I remember because I actually tried the fruit. So pumping really good. It's got too much fruit on it. So I'm gonna trim this one a little, pull the suckers. That one's doing really well. But pulling the fruit off of it is going to help the nutrients go into building roots and branches. It's more important. This one I believe is blood orange, and that it's doing fine. I didn't really get any fruit on that one, but the growth is good. In fact, that one really needs no maintenance. This one is a Kishu Mini Mandarin, and this is what happened on this one. Basically, I was running water, and as the water came down here, it was getting less water and less water and less water. So this one went a little dry, and I was just so slammed, I was really not paying any attention to it. By the time I found out the water was too low, it was already kind of damaged. So I'm going to cut this one back a little bit more and hope it pushes some branches out this way to be able to salvage it. Because right now, it's just the only branches are in this direction. And if I'm going to have a 30-year tree, I'm not going to have a 30-year crooked, ridiculous looking tree. So I'm hoping that one with a little pruning will come back. Same with this one. You can see this is a result of the dry watering. And it's really easy to overwater these, and that way I get rid of the risk of stuff like this. But we were spending $500 a month in the summer on city water. Now that we're on the well, it's really just electricity. So I probably am going to begin to overwater these, prune them, and probably maybe even over fertilize, but not burn them, and just give them a lot and try to get the roots really established so that I can transfer off. I'm watering them now 3 days a week for 15 minutes, and these are moving quite a bit of water, so they're staying wet, and that's even with the rain. Now this one, another Kishu Mini Mandarin, is trashed. I'd hate to admit it, but The only thing growing on this are these shoots. The problem is these are not the original tree. The Kishu Mini Mandarin don't have thorns, which means the Kishu Mini Mandarin died above the basically where they grafted it, and then this is pretty much just whatever the rootstock is. And I want a Kishu Mini Mandarin. I don't want whatever this rootstock is. So that tree's junk, unfortunately. And it was pricey too. It was like $100. So totally screwed some of those up just not watching them. And you know, the first year or two is super critical. So definitely ruined one. Let's go look at other ones. All right, so I'm just going to jump outside of the stairs here. This one is a Tangelo, Mineola Tangelo. The problem, same. This I let get too dry. I mean, you can see. So it does have some new growth up here. I'm going to probably prune this one back and just see what it does. But I'm not super optimistic. I'm going to run up the hill. This one, you know, I don't actually remember what this one was. It was some kind of seedless mandarin. Same. And in fact, I'm not going to explain them individually. I'm going to run right up to the top here. Saying this was some really cool patented seedless thing. And then, kind of forget. This one was a Valencia for juicing. So you notice all the same problems on these. And I definitely really screwed up because each one of these was $100. So that adds up. Looking back, this is what happened. Right here at the highest point, very little water flow. So now we've transferred off of the city water. So city water way down there. And by the time it reached this point, it had very little pressure. And it would just barely dribble out of here. So that was no problem, except because it has very little pressure, it tends to kind of get like a algae growth, and that would restrict it. And next thing you know, this would be getting no water, that would be getting almost no water, that would be getting just barely more than no water, and then, you know, it just got worse as it comes uphill. This one I'm surprised did a little better. I think maybe because it gets some shade here. But all these ones, there's 8 right here on the hill, and they all took a beating. It's just, I wasn't out here checking them all the time. So same with this one. You can see it's alive, but this is a weed. Let's take that out of there. And also, what sucks about these, and I'm considering not really even trying to keep these going here, is rabbits, animals, squirrels, whatever. Well, this is so secluded here that they'll actually jump this 3-foot fence, just hop in there, chomp, 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 eat a bunch of branches off. And so it's not helping that half of the tree is being repeatedly eaten either. This one's done a little better, but it's still pretty scrawny. So it's just all these really have the same problem. The one that surprised me was this one. This one's doing great. And I really don't know. I mean, you can see it's got yellow. So, you know, what it really needs right now is probably nitrogen. So I need to get a little more fertilizer in here. But, you know, the tree is actually very healthy. And the oranges are good. I tried them and they taste pretty good. Now, this one's been in a little while. This is a Caracara Pink Navel. Doing pretty good. So, and then there's one more blood orange down here that's doing okay. Oh, and there's a grapefruit over there, and the rabbits ate every branch off of it. I think the roots and trunk are healthy, but there's no growth. It's just eaten. So like this one, same thing. It's been eaten a few times. It got a little too dry. So as for this, I think I'm going to give it one more shot, really prune these back. I've increased the water time. Now that we're on the well, we're actually getting more gallons per minute than the 1-inch water meter from the city could supply. So I'm able to get better water flow on all this high elevation stuff. So I'm probably going to give them a year. If they come back, cool. If they try to come back but they're too damaged, I'll replace them. If they don't come back strong, I'm going to yank all those trees out, and I'm going to put, you know, maybe like Italian cypress going up there. Now this one, healthy, strong. You can see all these are little buds. It keeps trying to grow back, and a rabbit keeps getting up in here and jumping in and eating every branch. Like, this one's just been eaten and eaten and eaten. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this one. You know, I may double wrap this with a more fine fence and actually try to do a dome over it, keep something off there. But I'm just, again, same with the ones on the hill and even these ones down here. I'm not sure I'm going to really keep trying to fight nature here. I may just abandon all these spots, put other types of trees or put no trees. And, you know, I got more than enough really anyway. That one, totally nuked. Branches got eaten and it went too dry. Same with this one. So it's kind of like financially irresponsible. I got so ambitious with all these. I planted them super nice. I took really good care of them, and then like for almost 2 years I was just slammed on that construction, and I was not giving these the hours they take. This one is, I forget what type, a pomelo or something, or a star ruby or something, grapefruit, and it's doing really good. But again, occasionally stuff jumps in there and starts eating it. So this one could probably stay, and this one is struggling. So it's another type of grapefruit, I don't remember which one. So I don't know, same thing, I'm going to prune this back, see if it makes it. If this one makes it and all these other ones don't, and that other pink caracara and that blood orange make it, then I'm going to take these trees and those trees and I'll move them down there where a couple other trees are kind of struggling. But I want to give it some time. This one, I really don't know what happened here. This one was a Dancy. It was beautiful. It was doing great. And all of a sudden, the whole thing died, like fast. So, and it was getting good water too. So this one, I really don't know what happened here. I'm not sure if it got, you know, there's this big epidemic of I don't remember the name of it, but there's an Asian disease, citrus disease, that's carried by the little bug. I don't know if that's what happened, but if that happened, that's scary for all the rest of these. So I really don't know. I did fertilize it. I don't think I burnt it, but it's tough to really say. I think that one's done. So, and then there's one more right there that's done. So these trees have really gotten thrashed, unfortunately. And the weather wasn't great. You know, we had some 20-something degree days. The stone fruit down here is doing great. Where I'm struggling is the citrus. So, see, that one's totally fried. So these are doing better, but maybe not great. This one was always healthy. Again, too much shade here, like too much cover for animals. I just trimmed back a bunch of these branches. Some jumped in there, ate off every single leaf. Luckily, they left the bigger branches, so as soon as the leaves grew back, it actually looks pretty good. I think I'm gonna be able to save that one. This one, I think, was just overburdened. It had a whole lot of fruit last year, and I should have took the fruit off, but I really wanted to try it. I think this is a Satsuma seedless, and they were good too. Yeah, so my bad. So how I'm gonna do it this year is gonna be a little different. You're gonna see I'm gonna take some of these fruit off. This one's actually doing good. I don't really, and all these I just trimmed, at least roughly, so there's not the apparent suckers and whatnot. But like this one, for example, it's holding its own, but I'm gonna help it out. I'm gonna pop all these fruit off. But I'm not gonna rip them off. I'm gonna actually prune them off. I'm gonna come cut them. I'm dropping them all today. This is a blood orange. You can see probably some nutrient deficiency, you know, with the yellow. So I really fertilized them, and now they're getting better quality well water with no chlorine. So I anticipate a lot of improvement, but in the meantime, maybe the root system's not quite big enough to support all the fruit and all the leaf growth, so I'm going to take the fruit out of the equation. I'm just going to get rid of it. This Tangelo's blown up. I mean, this thing's just going crazy. So this one's definitely good. I'm not doing anything different with the tree. It's just older and more established. So That tree, I ain't doing nothing to that one. This one's a little newer, but it's dark green. It's looking good. I think that one's what the heck is that thing? That one's a honey mandarin. This one is doing really good. It could probably support this fruit, but you know, I think what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna take them. I'm gonna pull them off. I believe this is a blood orange. It's either a blood or a caracara. Nope, it's actually, oh, it's a tangelo. Didn't look like it. These look kind of, oh, you can see a little bit of a bump there. It seems like the tangelo are a little stronger tree for whatever reason. But still, I'm going to pull at least most of that fruit, if not all of it. This yuzu is going bonkers, and that's crazy everywhere. I just pruned it back. This one's holding its own. We got some really strong wind and a ton of rain. It kind of blew it over a little, but I just sort of straightened it back up. Looks like it's growing a little heavy on this side, so I'll probably trim a little bit of this and try to get it proportional. This tangelo is struggling a little bit more, but I'm going to pull the fruit. I just think it can't support the fruit. Although it's the same age as that other one over there that was a little bit similar size, but a little bigger. So, same. This one got kind of blown over a little. So I'm just going to pull the fruit off all these babies. That one's already got no fruit, needs nothing, just time. This one has been ridiculous. This one, I gave away a ton of these. The more I look, the more I see. I mean, it's dragging the branches to the ground. The cool thing about this tree was this was like a $25 Costco one, but I got it 5 years ago. This was this tree, and the next one are the first ones I planted, and it shows. I mean, it's huge compared to these other ones, and there's just, I'm telling you, I've given probably 150 or more of these Mandarin oranges. You call them tangerines, and it's just, they're just everywhere. They're just everywhere. It's just nuts. I didn't fertilize it any more than any other ones. It just, I think the roots have just, it's got the big roots, and it's also got the small micro roots where it just pulls all the nutrients it needs, and it seems to be able to support any amount of fruit, and it has not discolored or anything. It's doing really good. And this Kishu Mandarin, I think he's gonna make it, but it had this dead branch growing, so I just, you know, what I do is I'll prune back anything that's dead. So look right here, like there's no green in the whatever it is, xylem or phloem or whatever, to carry the water and nutrients. So I'll just trim it back as far as I can until I can see some green. So like this, for example, has the green there. I'll just clip back till I see the green. And it looks like I need to spend a little bit more time pruning this one, but I think if that one gets a good jump, it'll be salvageable. Even with losing the branches, it just needs a little growth over here. It'll be all right. This Meyer Lemon is just out of control. Like just the same. I mean, these ones I planted early, that, you know, when I was on my A game, taking care of the trees for the first couple of years, I really made sure these got a good start. And then, well, the construction of that started. So the stuff I planted just before that construction got a little ignored. But this thing's just nuts. I mean, it's got mature fruit, baby fruit, buds. It's just got everything. I mean, it's just loaded. Got nothing really to do on that. I just need to prune the bottom, get it up off the ground. Same, it's another Mandarin, and it's just cranking. It could use a little more green growth, so I think I'm going to prioritize trying to get these off here pretty soon, because they're about as sweet as they're going to get. Real easy to peel. Just going to knock that out, and that way its nutrients will go towards putting some more branches up rather than getting the fruit going. Alright, I'm going to pause so we can get right to there. Alright, I don't remember what this one is. Oh, this is Satsuma. I remember it now. It's doing really good. But, you know, now, a couple things. One, if I pull the fruit off, it's going to be better for the tree. But two, this fruit is really pulling these branches down, and it's it's making all the branches do this. And I don't want all the branches to do that while it's a baby. I want this thing stood up. So I'll make a point. These ones are actually easy to pull. So check this out. You know, just so easy to peel. They're great fruit, real loose peeling ones. And these ones are seedless. They're not quite as sweet yet because the tree's so young, but I'm just going to yank all the fruit off that. Like, I'm a little greedy and I want to have all this fruit, but it's just not worth damaging or at least holding back that tree from reaching its full potential. So I want to get once the tree's 5 years old, like that one down there, I'll start enjoying the fruit. This one was a lime, and I know what happened with this one. The gophers really tore this thing up, and I kind of fixed it, but it just never made a good recovery. Let me consider that tree trashed. I'm gonna put a new one in. Same with this one's a Tangelo. It's doing great, but you can see the fruit is just pulling them down. So let me get all the fruit off that. This is a nice Satsuma, but again, we're kind of coming uphill here, and this one went dry. So I cut a bunch of the dead branches off, right back to where it's green, and I'm hoping it makes a big comeback. And this grapefruit is just doing great. This is one I transplanted out of San Diego. I dug it out of a backyard, hauled it in a bag. I got it cheap, but it was probably not worth it. Too much work and too far, but it's doing really well. So I guess I'm overall happy, just probably wouldn't do it again. And I just trim that one a little. The first couple years of that one were a little rough, and this is going to be our last one today. This pink lemonade is doing really good. It was struggling, and the problem is the little sprinkler down there is so hard to see. I couldn't see, it was clogged up and it wasn't spraying. So I trimmed it up, I turned up the water. It's happy, but I really need to cut this ice plant around it so I can keep an eye on how wet it is, because by the time I'm seeing the damage up here, you know, it's kind of far along where it's hard to get back. So that's the update on the citrus. We're going to talk about those olives and stuff that I'm trimming. We're just going to leave it at the citrus. Man, I have planted so much, I forgot about it. I'm like, geez. All these kumquats are doing pretty well. Look a little yellow. So I think I'm going to give them a little boost of nitrogen, some fertilizer here. But and I'm also going to try to get some of these more ripe kumquats off. But they're doing pretty well. And then this one is the citrus cocktail. These are lemons budding. That's a lemon on there that's ripe. I don't think I've got much orange buds, but this has a total of 4 different fruit on it. So same, looks a little too yellow. I know part of it's going to be because it was cold, but I'm gonna look into this a little bit more. I'm kind of thinking that one is ready for another dose of fertilizer. I partially think we got socked with rain. I mean, we've got literally over 9 inches of rain this month, which is a lot for here. Especially this soil's loose and sandy. So I think it's, even though I fertilized them on time, I think it just washed so much of it away. They're in need again. Another citrus cocktail. This one's growth has been a little better than the other one, but overall these have been really slow. The lemons do the best on the tree. The oranges were harder to get to grow. The orange branches, the lemon branches grow pretty strong. So these have a reputation of not really being that strong of trees, both of them. But in my backyard, this is what I want. Hey, it's all right. It's okay. So I'm gonna give these no more water. They got plenty of water, but just I'm gonna try to step up the fertilization and see if I can get these to really be booming. So it'll be a little bit of experiment, combination of the better water and some more fertilizer, and see if that improves it. Probably check back in 6 months. I might check back in the spring. 3 more months. Gosh, I almost forgot about this whole side. Same kind of sad story over here. Definitely went a little dry. I also don't think they're happy with the 29-degree weather we just had. So all these are various citrus, all oranges. I'm hoping I can salvage that one. I know I can definitely salvage that one. And these are for sure okay. Like that's a lime, I believe. And that one is doing pretty well. This one is making a strong comeback. It just put out, this is pretty new growth, and they're big, waxy, nice leaves. This one got a little yellow, like it has a nitrogen deficiency, but I'm not really sure exactly. I might actually have to research this, because now that I'm really sitting here looking at it, it looks like it's actually gotten worse since the rain, which maybe means the rain washed the nutrients out. I'm not sure. I got to think about what I'm going to do with this one. This one is the worst. I think this one's probably pretty done. It just went too dry. Actually, it's budding right now. But yeah, I'm going to give it a fair shot, but I'm going to have to prune a lot of that dead stuff and hope it makes a recovery. And these were the citrus I put in for juicing, and I just really let a lot of this stuff get away from me. So now that construction is over and water is better available, I'm hoping I get to really get these things cranking. So I'm going to be giving a lot more attention to these. This one's actually doing pretty well. These are going to get a lot of attention. I really want to get these going strong. And these are the very last 9 right over here. That one's really bad. Really bad off. Probably not going to make it. The problem with these ones, rabbits were jumping in here, eating the branches. Then I got gophers in here, and then I had to dig the trees out and wrap them with chicken wire. And it didn't seem like I ever made a great comeback from the transplant shock. Same with this one. Definitely better. You notice less gopher holes over here, so that does help. And this one, not great. So again, I'm gonna look through these really good. Branch it's still alive, but not by much. Doesn't have a lot of nice green in there. That one actually does. So I'm gonna give these a bunch of love. This one, nice job, but you don't really need to do all this work. Okay, I'm gonna help you out. Man, that's a nice navel too. Definitely. But yeah, I'm actually gonna clip it off. That's not coming off easy. Definitely struggling on these ones. So kind of depressing video for me. But I wanted to really get an honest view of what I got here, because transferring over from the municipal water with the chlorine to treat bacteria to now the well totally raw from the ground natural water with no treatment, I'm expecting some pretty good results, and also just giving them the attention they need, I expect really an improvement. And then of course in the spring I'll get all these stone fruit and deciduous trees. That's it for real this time.